Well, as much as I don't have time to keep editing videos, I wanted to take a video of this one. Look at this. Some brown rot on the back side of this pretty large white pine. That weed barrier stuff, that stuff is terrible. Please don't put that around your trees. If you have trees, please don't do that. It causes all kinds of problems. I'm not saying that it caused this, but it doesn't help. Anyways, that brown rot could have been exacerbated by constant moisture being trapped by that root barrier or weed barrier. But anyway, let's assess what we got here. A multi-stemmed, ugly, behemoth white pine in between 3 sets of power lines, house drop, another probably 240 drop, and then that one looks a little bit thicker. So it's in a really difficult spot, and it's partially compromised already, and it's got another large white pine that it's leaning towards. There's a church right there. There's a client's home right there. So we've got the lift, and just like all jobs with the lift, I'm gonna have to climb it anyway because the TM42T just doesn't have enough reach, but it'll help a lot reducing weight, working around these lines, getting us some clearance. We've got a nice parking lot to work with. That's good. Oh, there's another crew member that showed up. She doesn't like it when I single her out in these videos. Anyway, and then we scheduled for lines to be dropped, but that could be hours from now. So we're gonna get to work on this side where we only have 1 power line to worry about. Save this side for later. The power company will hopefully get out here soon and be able to drop all these lines, make this a lot faster for us. One thing I'll mention about these nifty lifts with the Honda GX200 engines, man, you got to remember to cut your fuel line during transport. So that's cutting it, and I did cut that while transporting, but dude, it'll mess stuff up so bad if you don't do that. To somehow get oil into your gas, I'm not a mechanic, so I can't explain it as well. But man, it messes stuff up. I want to do a video doing a thorough talk about the benefits of using a tow behind lift in regards to tree work. Obviously, these tow behind lifts are a much more affordable option to get an aerial lift, start using one, and some rental companies actually can rent them. So it gives smaller tree services like us the opportunity to start using an aerial lift without having to get a CDL and without having to spend, you know, $150,000 on a spider lift. But they obviously have their drawbacks, the main one being their dependence on a tow vehicle. And then I would say the other drawback is they tend to be smaller, and they're not designed to really do solely tree work. They're more designed to do a wide array of different contractor applications like painting and sandblasting and window washing and light bulb changing and those sorts of things. But despite that, if you learn how to use them for their strengths, they can be great additions to the crew. All right, Lord, thank you for this opportunity to work. Please provide us safety and efficiency, and your will be done. Help us glorify you with our work. In Jesus' name, amen.
What other saws do you think I should fetch out?
261, 201, Charlie and Golf will be nice to just cut stuff up on the ground. gonna do some span rigging now. We've reached our max that we can do with the lift. I'm gonna have to climb the tree now and rig these tops. Now we still have client's house to worry about. We still have the church to worry about. So we can't just blow huge pieces. So we're gonna span rig some pieces. And span rigging is great when you're worried about the strength of your anchor. So you can double the strength by incorporating another anchor. Or if you want to bring pieces into the center between two anchors. And I'll explain really quickly what that looks like for my crew's sake and for the sake of this instructional video. All right, you're gonna need you're gonna start with a rigging rope, obviously. And now imagine I'm up in the tree, and this is, say, one of the stems of the tree. I'm just gonna do a hard tie to one stem of the tree. And then I'm gonna climb over to the other stem of the tree. Let's say that this is another stem of my pine, or maybe it's another tree that I want to use in a different job scenario. And I'm going to put a block on this side. Okay? So I've got a hard tie, and then I've got a block across from that. Open that block and put the rigging rope on in. Now, the porter wrap is going to be used on this line. So in this mock scenario, we would want this line going back down, straight down, and the porter wrap would be down there. Okay, that hard tie is going to stay stationary, and I'll just pretend that that I am the piece to be span rigged. Okay, for the sake of this demonstration. This is where the magic happens, right here. We're going to throw a block on to the middle of our span rig. Then we're going to tie on the piece, and with a sling. And once we've tied on the piece, we attach it to the block in the middle of our span rig. And then when it's time to go, you cut the piece, and this is what it'll do. It'll go like this. Now you have two strands. One of them stationary, one of them moving. What this does is it reduces the load and the forces of the load. It splits the weight and the dynamic loading between two anchors. And it also is a lot easier on the ground crew. The guy on the porter wrap, he doesn't have to wrap it as many times. If you didn't have a porter wrap and you were like trying to do pieces by hand, this would essentially double your load capacity that you could get away with by hand. Okay? So you're on a 2-to-1 system, and it's also nice if the piece has to be hoisted back up for some reason, like it gets stuck halfway down, or for whatever reason you might want to hoist it back up. You've already got 2-to-1 mechanical advantage on it right away. So typically with span rigging, we can rig bigger, and that's nice as well. But we're just going to take it easy, do it as safe as possible, and use the span rig. It splits the difference. You see, a conventional rig, if it wasn't hard tied to there, then the piece was just coming straight from the block here. It would fall in line with the block, so the piece would land down here. If I had like a fence or a structure or a house or something here, and I didn't want to hit this, then I can span rig by putting my anchor over there as well, and then it'll span the difference in between those two anchors. And it gets it away from over there. Okay, hope that makes sense. That's just this on the ground, demonstrating it. Now we're gonna do it in the tree. All right, time to put this on the helmet. All right, I'll try not to move my head around too much to cause a headache. time for a little voiceover. I want to say I don't like the red button feature with the nifty lift because if you push it and forget to pull it out, the ground team can't turn the lift on. So as I transition into the tree, I had to remember to pull that red button out so that they can move the lift later. But anyways, throwing the ropes down and starting to climb.
Stand clear. It's coming loose. Just a second. Okay, clear. This is the Petzl Eject. It's a really reassuring name to trust your life to an anchor called the Eject. But it's a great anchor for DDRT. Pull all that slack out. Let's get our retrieval ball off of that. That's important if I do retrieve this. Anyway, it gives you a nice diagram so that you don't load it the wrong way. And I'm not gonna make an in-depth video of how the eject works right now. So I am on some really thin diameter wood. I don't want to go much higher. Let's get a little bit lower here and get some of this weight off of my harness. All right, loose equipment. The block is loose. I've got it secure now. That probably took like 30 pounds off of me. All right, cutting some stuff. If you put your hard tie a little bit below where your block is, then when they pull it back up, it'll slide back down to you to reset. It's just something to think about. I'm gonna put this on there. Now we're ready to tie this off. Let's put our notch in this towards the corner of the church. I'll take that. Okie doke, I'm about to put this piece on. All right.
Here's the running slip figure 8 with the daisy chain finish that I do like to use with my rigs.
Locked it off. All right, first tuck is locked off.
as always. Now that I've done this top, I'm going to change my hard tie anchor to here. It's the rope onto this side. Hook it up right here now. Keep pulling until it's tight. All right, now I can do this. Okay, now we can go on down. We gotta be careful of our rope rubbing on that, but we're gonna be okay. We're gonna just kind of lean back in it and it'll be fine. Let her down. Got my ride coming back to pick me up. All right, let her on down. You can see I'm using the lift for its strength. It can't reach these tops, so I just kind of go back and forth between climbing and working the lift. But we took one of the leaders out, we got 3 to go. Woo, baby. I'm going to take this one now. It's got a lot of weight over the house. Rather than having to speed line these limbs out, I'm just going to span rig the entire top below around where my feet are right now. But definitely want to span rig because this is a lot of weight and we're dealing with a white pine. Yeah, hold those 2 stems together. Alright. Hold. It's gonna get stuck. That's okay, I can swap down into the lift. Look at how that caught my rope. Crazy. That should be a lot more manageable for you. Nice having the lift. Alright. This is my stop. Pulling that red button just in case they need to move it. Okay, 1 to go. All right, we span rigged all of that. That was really a safe way to do that. And
Now this little top, I think I'm just gonna make it go right on down in there.
Now that the tree is topped, I'm able to use the lift to chunk it on down. And there's a general rule with these chunks, trying to make them land flat. You want to try to estimate 1/5 the height of the tree and then cut a conventional notch, and it'll flip one time and land flat. If you're doing something bigger than 1/5, then you need to do a more open notch, as I failed to do with this piece here.
Notch wasn't open enough. If I had my notch a little more open, it would have flipped all the way. Dang. There we go.
You can't really tell, but this piece is really tall. It's more than 1/5, so look how open my face cut is. That's gonna help it have time to flip over. And you'll see it's still not quite enough to make it land perfectly flat. As always, giving God glory for his protection on this really tough job. Using our 42-foot aerial lift definitely came in handy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.